Hello. So this is not a coding stream. This is just me analyzing a chess game. I wanted to get um, the habit of doing this because I have this video software that I'm working on, and I wanted a set of videos that I could make that would be a little more scripted than this impromptu rambling that I do here. So I'm kind of just going through the process here, so kind of prototyping the process of because all right, so I played a game of chess. I play these very short games that look like this. You don't want to do things live, right? All right, so I played a game, and it was a 3 minute plus 2 seconds every time you make a move. Very short game. Blitz. Um, I'm not a very good chess player to begin with, and then when you quickly, it's bad. So my rating was, I guess it was 916 to start with, and then I dropped to 910. I had just played this a little, and so I'm trying to do two things here. One is to analyze the game, and then two is to like kind of figure out what it is I'd actually want to show on the screen if I were going to do this as a quick reflective thing that I did maybe once a day or once a week. So I tend to play. I can't. Yeah, I want to pick this up. I want to show just my pieces. I think maybe. Well, okay. I can annotate it like this. This software. So this is Lichess. This is where I play. And normally, when I have been playing recently, I've been following a guy named Yasser Serouane. In one of his books, he suggests, as a kind of like beginner strategy to consider this, right? So whichever side you're playing, you can do the following. On the king side, move this pawn up, move this knight here, and then move the bishop to this square, and then castle, right? So he calls it building a little house for your king, building a house for your kings. And depending on what order you do it in, I believe this is the King's Indian defense black and the King's Indian attack if you're white. And it occurred to me that I tend to always press this pawn forward as my first move in these blitz games. And so I decided I would try moving the knight here instead as my first move. Move the knight, move the pawn, and then move the bishop rather than pawn, bishop, pawn, moving the bishop, and then moving the knight. So also, I don't always do those moves because sometimes he brings his pawn down, right? Pawn down here and then here, and then the knight is here, so it's being attacked. So I don't have to move the knight in that case. But in general, I try to make that. Yeah, okay, so that's what I've been kind of working on, and so today I decided I would move the knight first and just see how that felt, if it felt different. And that's what I did. So he started with e4. I moved knight f6. Okay, so he moves his knight out to protect the attacking. So he moves his knight to protect the knight. Knight to c3 protects the pawn. I move this out again because I don't want this to be attacked. So as a prophylactic move or whatever, I did that. Oh, by the way, I picked this game because I kept my pawns very close to the chest here, I guess. I kept them very close to me. That was unusual. I tend to, in my experience at my level in these games, you tend to create a lot of pieces very quickly. And I didn't do that this time. And I thought that was interesting. That's why I picked this game. Okay, so of course this also opens this up. Potentially the bishop can come down here and attack me. I'm not worried about that. I don't think I should be worried about that. I think I'm okay here. If I go to the analysis board, it'll tell me what the moves are. But I think what I was kind of picturing for this video was actually play the game. But maybe what I do is like this, try, rather than live recording the game and trying to do it. I don't know. Right? If you have live footage of the game, then it's like you don't have a lot of time to think. But maybe that's good because I'm just rambling right now. I don't know. I'm gonna stick this in the editor. I don't know why watching this is good for you. I mean, thanks, but like it's not really meant for anyone but me. All right, so also this is like a lower, slightly less rated than me. Means I was the favorite to win. And at the end of the game, I wound up being ahead, but I wound up timing out. So, one because I couldn't make my decisions fast enough. Okay, so right, I'll just keep stepping forward. So, right, so he moves his knight out there. Say the moves knight, so knight to f3. I move g3 again, making my little house. X is on with 3. Okay, I don't. I move my bishop to g7. He attacks my bishop, and so sometimes this is a skewer. Sometimes I don't know. Like there's really no real threat here. Knowing place to put your bishop. Like you can take my knight, but usually I consider the knight slightly less valuable than the bishop. Same thing to do. I guess it's developing it. Okay. So I castle, creating my little house. E2, allowing him to castle. He's blocked in a little bit. Downside of so yeah, so now rather than coming out here and then having him, I just kind of stayed a little close. I protected this knight and just kind of jumped into that spot. Usually I would go here, but I just didn't do that. I don't know if that's a good move or bad move, but that's kind of just how I was feeling. Right, so he castled. So then I figured, well, okay, what do I want to do? And I just put this up so that I could fianchetto this other bishop as well. Or possibly up here. Is that the Caro-Kann? I think when you make this little formation, it's called the Caro-Kann. If you make the triangle. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. I don't know what that was about. So far, I'm this is all but happening very quickly. But you don't have the time here, do you? I'll just step through the game, but I think if you go to the analysis board, you see the actual timestamps. So there you go, fianchetto. Sure why he did that. Try and kick this bishop away. Can't take this pawn because I'll just take that and he's not protecting it. So I think he moves his queen down. Oh, he took my knight. Okay, so yeah. So that was an interesting move to me because for my play, it was an unusual move for me because I tended to What did I see? I think I was watching a video about the Caro-Kann, but this is not the Caro-Kann. This, I believe this is the Caro-Kann. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, what the video was saying was that it's all about like making this pawn structure and just keeping, keeping your pawns intact or whatever. So somehow that was in the back of my mind. That was the last chess video I watched. I thought it was interesting, and so I thought, well, you know what? Maybe I won't try and move my pawns as much. So rather than taking with this pawn, rather than taking here, I took with the bishop. That started like the style of play for me. I found it interesting. All right, he moved his little thing out of the way, freeing up his bishop, I guess. But so far, nobody's really creating a threat for anybody. Everything is protected over there. So I think kind of the reason I did this was like I didn't want to move any of the pawns. Like I wasn't sure what to do. Maybe I could have moved one of these two pawns to bring my queen out or something. Or I could have moved the queen or whatever. Right. But I was just thinking, well, I'll just I don't really know what I was thinking. Like it just I guess just I was not trying not to move the pawns too much. Okay, so brought that down. 5 h5. Okay, so that opens this up. I think this might have been a mistake, but obviously doesn't. I don't want him there, but do that until it affects it somehow. So okay, so now I was gonna like attack here. I was gonna try and take over this thing. That's why I moved the bishop. So he attacked me, and I can't do this now because he's check. I think I move here, and without realizing it, that was a complete blunder. Right? I think that was the blunder I made. Because I had one blunder in this game. I have looked at the analysis, like request a computer analysis. I think that was a blunder. This was the blunder because he can move here, and then he's forking these two. Although it's really not that big of a deal right now because I'm protecting it. So the fork is not effective. But he didn't see that. Or I guess he didn't thought it was protected, so he's not worried about that. Move this down. I didn't really see a threat here. I didn't really understand there was a point to this move. I put that there thinking that now this knight is pinned. Again, forgetting that, about this, or not having picked up on this. And so this is something I learned from the analysis, right? That I think in general, if a knight checks your king, you should move to a square of the same color so that you can't get another check right away. And oftentimes in a blitz game, there's just not time to find out what the good square is. So as a rule of thumb, I think that is something I should handle. So one of the things I wanted to do, I have notes, right? So I want to be able to, I want to start taking notes where I can say rules of thumb or whatever, rules of thumb. If a knight attacks the king, try to move king to the same color it can't do it again. Because I think I think if you have, you know, your king is here, the knight checks you, you move to the dark color, one square away, he can check you again. Here, right? Move here. I see. So, okay, so the knight can move. I move. I hadn't really thought about this before. You move to a white square, any of these squares are safe. You know, not considering other pieces, they're safe from this knight. But if you move, was it shift? Move to this square, I can attack you. And if you move this square, okay, so I guess you're actually safe there. Here, I can attack you. Here, I can attack you. Okay, so of the 4 squares surrounding you, only one of the black squares is safe. And then these 3 are these 4 are dangerous. So this is moving away from the knight. This is moving away from the knight, but like there's 2 different axes, I guess. He's over here, then you can move here, and you're not safe there. Right, it's this square again. You can't. Here, you can. This one he can move. This one? Yeah, it's this one. So whichever. So the knight moves 2 and 1s. You know, two squares in one direction. That, and then one in that direction. So the longer axis, or I guess whatever the shorter axis is, that's the one you can move to. That's pointing in the direction you can move. If I follow that rule and I go here, the shorter axis is here, and this one should be the safe square. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, so that's a neat principle. I didn't know that. I had never thought about that. No one, I don't recall ever seeing that in this story. But I do recall often getting, you know, check, and then I just in my haste I move here because I've got nothing on the clock, right? You've got seconds on the clock, not here. I wouldn't move that square because that would be a check already. But sorry, I move here, attack the knight or whatever. Here. So I guess you want to try and move to one of the white squares, but you can't move to this white square. There's generally going to be one other white square that is danger, that is already in check, because knight is taking, and this one. but this is the safe square that you can move to. This is not safe from another check. This is not safe from another check because the knight can move here. This is safe. Another check, and this is safe from another check. And not safe because he can move here. And this is safe because it's a white square. That's interesting. Pattern. Okay. All right. So the point of that would be that I don't really need to take a picture of this because I'm making a video. Like I want to record like this fact and maybe like different variations, right? And that should be in my little fact book, like my self guide or whatever. Okay, so anyway, in this case, I moved away from the knight. Into this, I basically would have moved into the equivalent of this square, right? Earlier, the king checked me here, and I moved back one. Into this square, which is a bad square, right? Exactly what I'm saying is that he can now attack me again, but not only that, he can fork me. Okay, but at least this guy is protecting it, so I was safe there. But then I set this up forgetting that he's not really pinned, because you're not pinned if the moving out of the pin can give you check, right? He could have done this, so I think this was the blunder. Okay, but he didn't capitalize on. He didn't see it. Game, whatever. So now I'm trying to kick the knight away. He could check me again, but now I would just take his knight, and I guess then the queen would take my bishop. But it wouldn't be catastrophic. Right, but instead he protects the knight with the pawn, so I think I just take his knight, right? Yeah, like that. Plus, I open this up, right? Which I thought was nice. I get out of the way. I'm attacking this guy. I'm eyeing this rook over here. I gotta say the names. Right? That was bishop to g7, king to h2. I don't know what that was about. I don't know. Maybe he's afraid of this. But in that case, he could have moved here. I don't know. I'm not sure what the point of that move was. I moved my. I was worried. That he was going to attack this and then come down here. So I thought, well, I'll just move that up here, and then not only am I protecting this square, but out of the way of the, I'm not going to lose the pawn. And plus, then all this is blocked. He can never, he's going to have a hard time getting these out of the way. I thought I was doing really good here. He moved his king back up. I don't know what that was. I thought about immediately attacking here, but why didn't I do that? Oh, because now I was trying to see, well, okay, but now my queen is kind of stuck in here, and it's like, well, what am I gonna? Can I get my queen out? So I thought maybe I could bring my queen here and maybe attack this guy, or I don't know. This is again happening very quickly. Okay, so boom. I finally brought that up. I think I just take this, right? So rook to f1, rook takes f1 check, takes f1. Now I'm trying to clear this away because I see this bishop is eventually going to be able to attack this king. That was e6. I'm thinking, when I watch a chess analysis channel, they normally give you several moves ahead because they do an actual analysis on it first. Whereas what I'm doing right now is just talking through the. I don't know, remembering what I was thinking, trying to document what I was thinking. I kind of pictured this, so a long time ago, I remember hearing a remark about poker, right? And they were talking about the cameras on the bottom of the table in a poker game, in a professional poker game. There's little cameras looking up at the cards, right? And so the players put their cards on the table so you can see their cards, and then the commentators are able to see the cards, and they able, of course, the players can't. They're in a separate room. They can't hear what the commentators are doing. They can't see what the camera feeds are doing. But the point was that by doing that, suddenly the poker game became a lot more interesting. So my thought was that it was interesting because you as the audience know something that the player doesn't know, right? And because you know what the other people have, right? And so you can see, well, the person is bluffing or whatnot. So it made poker more interesting. So I was thinking, I am not an expert, and I don't necessarily even get a lot of value out of expert analysis provided by Stockfish or something, Stockfish, the computer program. It occurred to me that maybe I would try and take that angle where I'm like showing my own thinking as I play through the game, and then simultaneously, like, intersperse that with a computer doing analysis and saying, well, okay, this is what the danger that you walked into. And so I'm unaware of the, as a bad chess player, I'm unaware of the mistakes I'm making, but the computer can immediately fill that in for the audience or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know. There are a lot more bad chess players than good chess players. So my hope is that this is might be appealing if I did it that way to people who are at my level or below. Many people. I'm not that good, and most people are good at chess. And I don't know. Okay, so point of all that was. All right, so yeah, so I took that again, trying to open up something here eventually. That was the depth of my thinking. All right, queen to f4. I wish, I think maybe I should record it in real time so that I can just give some commentary on what I'm thinking at the time, because I have no idea what's in my head here. Why did I do that? I don't know. I think part of it is I'm running out of time here. Right, we trade some pieces. Take a free knight. And I think this is actually, we'll do it in a second, but I think this was one of the learn from your mistakes moves. I think that was not good. All right, he takes that. And then I ran out of time. And then if you go to the analysis board, okay, at the time, you computer analysis. So I'm winning. I'm super winning here. I made one. Okay, you can see whenever there's a spike, it means that I gave him an advantage. So I did something here to give him a small advantage, and I gave him something here to give him a small advantage. In both cases, they were the something with this, the knight attacking that piece. Go there and see what's. So this move, whatever this move was, this was my worst move right here. Moving that there was my worst move. Saying I made a blunder. But then whatever he did next was his worst move. One of his worst. This is a bad move. This is a bad move. Whatever he did. He did that, which gave me the opportunity to. Okay. So anyway, I was ahead. A lot of times I don't know. I kind of felt like I was doing okay, but I don't really know. And I think that's that's kind of the thing I want to put across. Like I don't know what kind of danger I'm in. I'm clueless. Not that I want to do that. Like obviously I don't want to be clueless, right? But thought is that that for like a narrative device, right? Like I think that could make video appealing, even though I'm not like giving expert commentary. But this thing gives expert commentary, so that's why I'm saying I would interweave what I just did. This, and I don't know if that is like I'm not sure how to do that. Like from a workflow point of view, I'm not sure how to do that. So I'm. I guess what I'm doing here is just verbalizing some thoughts, and I'm going to try and see what it would be like to take these thoughts and put them into a analysis. Like right, I'm at 32 minutes right now. I don't know how long this game was. Right, the game was. How do I find out how long the game was? Right. I guess it's going to be 3 minutes. You have to do math to figure out how long the game was. It can't just tell you how long the game was. Because in the end, he had 51 seconds left, so it would have been right. So we each made 28 moves, so we would have gotten back 2 seconds on each one. So we both gained a minute. So it was about 3 minutes plus 3 minutes plus 1 minute on his clock, and then so basically a 7-minute game. Right. Or that just download Stockfish. So anyway, everybody was fine. It was basically even. If you look at the chart, it was basically even up until about this point, and he blundered. Right, and so now I have what the analysis is that would have been the better. Wait, what? I see. So D2 would have been the better move. Attacking that, I guess, putting some pressure on. What's the problem with this? That they call it an inaccuracy. not a blunder. It's just the inaccuracy. So we're still not bad, right? So then I responded with this, which is also an inaccuracy. Um, and it says I should have just taken that knight. I was hoping to get the knight out of the way so I could get at that guy. But rook, but attacking here forces this move. I don't know why that. I don't know why that's a better move. So I guess the thought is, I could, if this were like if it, there's a guy named a Godmador, right? Like that is one of his. He does a lot of like grandmaster analysis, and he would explain that in detail. I think I should focus on blunders and like why did it seem like a decent move at the time, and I don't know. So if the answer is I don't know what I was thinking, then that's not helpful, right? What needs to be there is I need to say, well, I need to record myself saying, well, this is a great move because blah 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 blah, and then later the engine can explain why it's a bad move, right? And it can be like a conversation. Because the opponent is not going to necessarily tell me what the answer was, right? The opponent is not going to necessarily going to exploit my move because they are at the same general level that I am, right? So just like I'm not going to see their mistakes, they're not going to see my mistakes. Sometimes we will. Obviously, sometimes that happens, right? So when you do see the mistake, then you take advantage. Okay, so see, I really want because it does no good to memorize a bunch of chess rules. What I need to be looking for here is mistakes. I need to have a method of identifying mistakes. So that I can understand the mistake, right? And I think I would say that at this level, like the dominant factor is not so much theory. It's not so a little bit, but mostly it's about mistakes. It's about leave your queen hanging, you leave your some piece hanging. That happens a lot, and so you need to be scanning for the other person doing that, and you need to protect against yourself doing that, and you need to watch for those mistakes. And you need to become aware of yourself making those. I know, I'm just thinking out loud here. This is not an interesting move. Video is. Okay, so this bar here, okay, interesting. So now that I'm in analysis mode, as far as telling me where the favor is, so we're still basically. And then because I move backwards, then immediately it's in his favor. But I'm assuming it's a him. Be a girl. Weird. Okay, so I just OBS crashed. I stopped the local analysis. That might be possibly a problem. I don't know what I'm doing here. I mean, I guess usually what I do is I go back and I look at the spikes, and then I say learn from your mistake. And the problem here was what? Problem is I moved here thinking I would pin this knight, and what I should have done is move here, right? Good move. Okay, but that's not. So I took a free knight, but the better move was apparently to do this. This. Right, because now we can either just trade queens or he could move here and lose his queen. So those are my two big mistakes. Man, I don't know. See, like I feel like when I was playing this game, it had a very unusual feeling to it. And I don't feel like this analysis that I'm doing here, that this process is recapturing that feeling that made it interesting. Right? And I think maybe the answer is to record it live. While the pressure's on, because otherwise it's like it's dead now, right? It's not an interesting game on its own. It's not, like a lot of people like to watch, like I said, analysis of grandmasters playing because they're grandmasters and they're going to do interesting things that you can emulate. I'm not going to do something interesting that someone's going to emulate because I am a terrible player. So what? But I think being able to go back and watch myself, maybe record the game with video, and then intersperse that, like I said, with the analysis in real time right after I maybe not real time, maybe like pause the game, the screen goes gray or something, and then like the way my screen is laid out right now, I've got my little face down here. In the analysis of this game, it should be a 10-minute video, right? Max. And I'm thinking, like, as I go through the game in real time, maybe we fast forward through a lot of things because they're on autopilot. Right? A blitz game should be in some sense on autopilot because you have your your openings memorized. I do not, but I would like to get to that point where I have like an opening repertoire, right? And then the ending should be kind of on autopilot because you're good at endings, right? I'm not, but those are the things you practice. Then the middle of the game is where the tough decisions are, and you want to save as much time as possible at that point. Maybe I will do that. I'm rather than doing this, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna record one more game. All right, so try this. So let's create a game. Create a game. I'm just gonna do the 3+2 blitz, which we do. And I'm gonna follow my same logic. So okay, I'm gonna do this. Knight to F3. Right, he's not attacking the knight, so I'm free to move this up here. G3. He brings his bishop down. There's no immediate threat, so I bring my bishop up. Kind of semi-attacking that piece, castle. He's not done anything in my territory yet. He's just kind of playing defensively. I could move here, but then he just the next move is going to be taking that thing and capturing the pawn. So now I'm going to move here. And I mean attacking the bishop. I don't know. Attacking the knight. That's a knight, not a. Okay. I don't know. I don't have this stuff planned out. If I move this queen, then I'm messed up here. So probably, actually now I can do this. I could this knight, rook here. Again, I'm looking to attack this point. I don't see him doing anything in particular. I'm going to looking to move this up right here, but I cannot do that. Okay, well. So now I don't know what to do. So I don't have this planned out. What was that doing? It was protecting that, but that's have anything going for me. I shouldn't be wasting time on this. Do this. Attacking that. Bring some pressure on that. All right, since he gave me the opportunity, I'm going to take this here. Okay. Tempted to move this here. That's bad. Probably he takes this. Yeah, no thought here. I'm not thinking about castle. I don't mind putting this here now because if he pushes this down, it kind of disrupts things. I don't mind that. Yeah, I expect him to do that. I don't think that's a good move, but I expect him to. At this level, that's what people do. Okay, so I'm gonna move this back here. Kind of keep everything together, whatever. I'm not really looking for much happening here. This is unprotected, so I expect him to move that there. This is unprotected except for this. I don't know what I should do. I think maybe free this up. I don't have a plan here. I see he doesn't have a bishop, so he kind of moved things off the black square. Mostly just want to not make a mistake, right? That's not a good strategy. I could protect that by moving this here, and that also gives me space here, although he can attack here. Then I would just take that and do. Probably he wants to. I don't. I should move out of the way so I can bring this pawn up soon and attack over there. I have no strategy. Oh, he took a pawn. And so now I'm already in the. I'm out of time. That's why you got to have a plan. And that's what I want to work on. I want to get to the point where I have a plan at every step. So like now I'm just kind of like zipping through this, right? I don't think I can. Maybe I'll put this here, try and get at that spot right there. I'm out of time. I was almost thinking, trying. I don't know. So I'm just reacting to stuff. I said that was a bad game, but that's typical of my games, right? So, okay. So now, rather than watching that and having to watch me suffer, it would be people who are good at chess are not going to watch this game, right? I mean, unless they want to like feel smarter than me, right? But people who are learning chess might want to watch that and then have it interspersed with the following. So now we say, okay, analysis board. Who's winning here? I would think he's winning, right? I am up a bishop, but so he's got one of my knights and two of my pawns. I have no reason to believe that I'm doing well at the game. So I would think that if we do this, he's going to be way ahead. Okay, so we can request a computer analysis. That takes a few seconds. It kind of builds it from the back. Yeah, black is ahead. And you can see that I kind of made a blunder right about here. And I made a super blunder right here, whatever this is. Okay, I don't want to read that though. I don't want to read that. I want to learn from my mistakes. I don't want to know what the answer is. Right now I know what the answer is. So, and I don't want to tell the audience what the answer is because, right? There's three things that can happen, or several things that can happen. One is that I might want to comment on, like here, here's this buffoon me, playing the game, and then the narrative would be, okay, this guy is in danger, doesn't even know he's in danger, or he's aware of it and he's doing well, and he actually did it right one time or something, whatever. But like, notice a trap, notice the right move to make it and make it. So kind of victory story there. Two is being in peril, not knowing it. Three is just not knowing what to do. Like in this game where I just played, like I got to a point where like I did not have a plan. I didn't know what to do next, and that's an indication that is not going to show up in here because I'm going to make a move and it might be a good move, might be a bad move, but that's not the problem. Problem is that I took too long to make the move, and in fact I have this here and I can see what move took the longest time to make. So I was the white team, so this was my hardest move right here. whatever this was. That I don't know why that was a hard move. Maybe, I mean, what's the better move? I don't know. Was it a blunder? Knight to h4? No. It kept the thing even. It was not a mistake. It wasn't. That's kind of interesting. Meanwhile, the one that was a blunder, right? So what am I looking at? What is this chart here? This is not the score. You should have the score superimposed on the computer analysis. Because this is my worst move is something over here. So it's like this something I made it quickly, right? This move is a move I made quickly, fairly quickly, or about average. So I didn't put a lot of thought into this move. So I didn't see that there was a problem. All right, so thing is, I'm not sure I see why it's a mistake either. I'm not. Sometimes I know why it's a mistake. Sometimes, okay, so all right, so if I click learn from your mistakes, then this is the very first move it shows me. It says this was a blunder. Why is it a blunder? I mean, this looks like it might be a better move. That is a good move. That's not the move it was looking for. It says BH3 was best. Okay. So BH3 was best, but why was this a blunder? And the answer is here, right? So the answer is that it's thinking this is going to happen. So it's going to say he's going to take the pawn, and I do what I just said to do, and he's going to run away. I take the okay. This is like the best line, right, that it sees. But it doesn't. I'm still ignorant of why this is a blunder. Well, I did. I mean, see now I want to know, did I verbalize this? Did I say it? So I was kind of thinking that I don't remember what I was thinking. So I only have. You know, it would be really nice to be able to compare, be able to refer back to the tape and say, well, this is what I was thinking. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop here. I just, again, I just kind of wanted to get a feel for like what kinds of things might I say in a video like this. I don't know that I don't know that I'm going to do I'm going to make some number of chess videos simply because I wanted something that I could put through the through my software, right? And maybe the video that I'm coming up with does not necessarily match the way that my software wants me to work, which script something beforehand. Um, but on the other hand, like maybe recording the recording myself talk while I'm doing while I'm playing the game itself. I imagine if I go back and watch this tape, I'm going to say like I was not making coherent sentences. Maybe I was saying enough words that I can put together a coherent sentence post, right? And so then rather than showing it live, my idea here is not to have me like a live video on the screen, but to have like I have this little like pixel art version of myself, a little avatar, and I was thinking that I would make that guy be the main character who's playing the game, um, and so his lines would be scripted based on what I was actually thinking, but like a reenactment. Um, so record a rough draft what I was thinking, and then from that tape, replay the game, but re-record a line for each move that I make, reenacting or illustrating the you know a coherent sentence, you know, using a coherent sentence to express the idea that I probably did not say coherently in the moment. Um, and then now I've got a linear, you know, pass through the game, then go back and intersperse it with, you know, commentary from, you know, a second character that is basically speaking out about this stuff, maybe even pausing the playback and like saying like could have happened, what I did wrong, why it's a mistake right there in the moment, so that the person knows. Then okay, so now you know what the exploit is. You as the audience, as the amateur chess player, know what the exploit is, the trouble that I am now facing. And then there's the question of, well, did the opponent see that? Because the opponent is basically at my level, and they're probably not going to see it half the time. They're not going to see it half the time. They're going to destroy me. Um, Likewise, there's a case where the you know I miss an opportunity because because the opponent makes a mistake and I'm just too focused on what I'm doing to even notice they made a blunder. You know? So there's like the missed opportunity, blunder on my part, the missed opportunity when you overlook a mistake on the other player's part, and then I don't know. I think there's like a good set of little story beats that you can do this if you take the time to turn the game itself into a narrative, and you remember what the protagonist is thinking, so that it's not completely inexplicable why I did a thing in the moment. So hopefully that'll help me. Okay, I don't know. I see people are watching here, rambling here. Um, yeah. I'm more analyzing my method of analysis here. I'm not a good chess player, and I am not a. I'm just trying to imagine what it'd be like to make a video about this to help me improve. What steps I would need. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Thanks for watching. I don't know why you watch this, but I'm not going to do another one of these anytime soon, but there will be a more test stuff. All right. Bye. Thanks.